Hello, I'm Coach Frank Allocco, and today I'd like to speak to you about developing an attitude of gratitude. My father worked at J.K. Smith & Sons, which was one of many factories that lined Central Avenue, one of the three major streets in a town of just 3.5 square miles, New Providence, New Jersey. My father worked at that factory from the time he was 26 years old until he abruptly quit at the age of 50 when he was denied a small increase in his pay. My father then went to Allstate Insurance, where he served as a courier, and his attention to detail, his work ethic, and his promptness served him well until his retirement. My father was a great provider for our family. My dad sacrificed a lot. He was always working. If he wasn't at his normal job, he was doing something extra to be able to provide for us and have us live in a comfortable home. My father gave up his evenings to clean our parish rectory and church. He drove a school van to transport kids before and after his regular job. He also worked as the fire inspector for the town. My father was a great athlete, but he gave up playing early so he could go umpire and referee once again to provide that little bit of extra for his family. He also cut the lawn at the factory where he worked. In addition to these extra jobs, he was also a volunteer on the church bingo cleanup crew. And he also served our town as a volunteer fireman for 67 years. He was active until the day he died. Every spring, summer, and fall Saturday, my younger brother Richard and I had the unenviable task of helping our father to cut that spacious lawn around J.K. Smith & Sons. Despite our reluctance to help, we actually proved to be a pretty good team. My father was an outstanding coach. He told Richard that by pushing the hand mower and trimming around the trees, it would develop his thighs and take him closer to his dream of being a great running back. Back in the day, you didn't have weed whackers. You had clippers that it was like a pair of scissors. You went around and you trimmed around the outside of your property. My father came to me and said, "Frank, that's going to be your job because you want to develop your forearms to make them strong enough to throw the football and become a great quarterback one day." Looking back, I think my father may have invented cross training, at least for his sons. But I often wondered what he was training because his job was sitting on that lawnmower just riding up and down the long strips of grass. I vividly recall one Saturday afternoon. It was a hot, humid day. I was drenched in sweat, moving painfully on my knees as I clipped along that curb. And I looked up. I saw 3 of my friends riding their bikes. Their beach towels were folded meticulously in their bike racks, and they're obviously going to the community pool. I saw them and I was mortified. I was embarrassed that they would see me working while they got to play. I quickly ran down that long driveway, made a left-hand turn, and hid behind that building, looked around the corner, made sure they were gone until I sheepishly walked back to my position, knelt down, started clipping again. Memory of that time, I actually never thought about that, never crossed my mind until 5 decades later when I was visiting New Providence. And I drove through that town happy, kind of lost in my great memories. And as I drove down Central Avenue, I saw that familiar building, except now it had a different name on it. And the feelings of those hot and humid days were resurrected. I could see the younger vision of my father, my brother, and I lovingly working together in that blazing sun. My memory turned to sadness as I realized that my immaturity back then had me focusing on the fact that I had to work while my friends got to play. My youth made me unaware of the beauty of working with my father, of contributing to our family. Like most kids, I didn't see the bigger picture of why my father labored the way he did, of the sacrifices he made by giving up his free time to work to provide for his family. Being older with a new understanding, my old feelings of resentment and embarrassment turned into a moment of pride as I realized how special it was to work alongside my father and my younger brother in the summer of 1965. Weeks later, I returned home to California and called my father, and I hesitantly shared that memory. I explained how panicked I was to have my friends see me working in the heat of a Saturday afternoon while they pedaled their way to the cool waters of the community pool. I apologized to my father for my insensitivity and lack of understanding, and thanked him for the sacrifices that he had made, giving up playing sports so he could umpire, relinquishing his evenings to work as a janitor at our parish church, and trading relaxing weekends where he could have gone to the pool to cut the lawn at the factory every Saturday. I concluded that conversation assuring him that I got it now. I was grateful to him for his lifelong example of service to his family and community, and most thankful for the priceless small moments that I shared with him every summer, fall, and spring Saturday afternoon. In looking back upon those special times, I realize now that J.K. Smith was just another forum. It was my dad's classroom to teach us the priceless lessons and the example that he gave to us those days. You know, as typical with young people, our self-absorption makes us lose the clear vision of the story behind the story. And I want to challenge all of you to see beyond the surface of events and understand the many sacrifices that your loved ones make for you every day. The easiest thing in the world is to say thank you, but words are just words. I challenge you to do thank you. Express your attitude of gratitude with your appreciative actions, not words. Anybody can say words. Make your actions the words you speak as you extend your sincere appreciation and abiding love for all that your parents sacrificed to provide for your family. You know, my father was my hero and my mentor for over 6 decades, and I would give anything to cut the lawn with him just one more time. Keep listening, keep learning, and strive to be your best. Don't say thank you. Do thank you.